Hi people, Rockfarmer here, and today we are in the TerraTech test lab. I want to show you a new concept of hovercraft that I have come up with. Well, to my knowledge, nobody else has done this anyway. You see this hovercraft here can hover, and as with anything in TerraTech right now, because we don't have a way to feather the throttle, it's like a little bit of a button mashing exercise. This is my prototype 1 anyway. And, you know, you do have a good amount of speed. See, this cruises at about 75 miles per hour, I think. Let's see if we can... Yeah, around there, 75, 76. This one does have missiles. But it's still maneuverable. And that's not something I've seen in any other tech these days. So I wanted to share you this one with you. This one is running on fans, and I'm really happy with this thing here. It works very nicely, and it's fairly balanced, and it's not super aggressive. It's relatively easy to fly. If you've flown planes in TerraTech here, or like flown helicopters in certain other games, you know, it's pretty straightforward. So let me take a snapshot of that now, and I'll save this as Hover Prototype 1. And I'll tweet it out so you guys can go and see it. And now I need to authorize. Let me cut this out here. All right, we're back here. This is the Prototype 2. And this is basically the same concept, but with a propeller instead. So this one is a little bit faster. It's also not quite as easy to fly, but close enough. This one cruises at about 90 miles per hour. Still acts like a plane and flies like a plane to a large extent. But you do have the ability to just hover it as you want. But because there's so much excess force on the propeller here compared to, I mean, there's a lot less weight to lift. So this one is definitely, it takes a little more finicky to work with. Let me go in and purchase then the one that I really feel actually is doing very well. It's the Mosquito Gunship Mark II. Bring that into the game here somewhere. I hope. There it is. This thing here it's a bigger version of my Prototype 1 over there. You see it has significantly more power in these vectors here, so you can manipulate the direction a lot more. I've also moved the front joystick segment, so to speak, further forward, so whenever I tilt it to the right or the left, it also pushes the tech a little bit to the right and left. So it has a little bit of steering help with that thing too. And these two gyros in the back makes it a little more like sluggish in the back, so it kind of, you know, this thing flies really well. Right now I have it set up with a little more excess lifting force than necessary. So the cruising speed of this thing here is, let's see if we can get closer to the ground and get a good read on the shadow. Like this, 67 miles per hour. It also comes with 14 cruise missiles and plenty of rockets. I find that when you fly these hovercrafts here, the cruise missiles are so much better because I'm too old. My fingers get confused. If I have to hold down two buttons at the same time to constantly fire the smaller rockets and at the same time try to feather the throttle, I mix it up all the time. But this one is a really nice flyer here. What you can do on this particular craft here is you can remove the middle one here and have a craft that is like where the lift to weight ratio is really almost in perfect balance. So you don't have to feather the throttle as much, but it also means that it's a little less you know, agile. You do need to be a little more careful with it, but you can, as you see, you can keep it very low and nice. You do need these back fins as well, by the way, just to, I don't know where those cruise missiles wanted to go, but this is even easier to fly. And I bet, you know, what you could do even more if you wanted like perfect hover is you could probably take a couple of blocks that weigh a little bit. You could probably put I guess you could put like a repair bubble and a battery in here. Right now I think it's just borderline being able to lift off here. So you see, it's a very delicate sort of, let's see, okay, it's just too heavy. Let's get one block off. And it does feel like I need to take this one off. So now we truly are just hovering and can just kind of strafe away and do whatever we want to do. And you see, the thing is, when you don't have that much lift anymore, you can't really maneuver too well, because you need the front to sort of, you know, when you start veering to one side, you lose a little bit of the upwards lift. So I would say this is borderline doable. Let's get one of these blocks off. It really is that, you know, the difference is really small. But this is a really nice hovercraft in that sense. Oops. And let's see how fast we can go. What's the cruise speed on this thing here? Let's get a good read on that. Let's see. So about 50 miles per hour. And yeah, I think this might be just a little bit too much, but you can, you know, it works really well. So you can use this to grind out your missions if you wanted to in your in-game. As soon as you get the grade 3 and you have the money, you can buy this thing here. The last thing I did, oh, by the way, as you can see when I loaded in the tech, if you want to get it in the community text, this one is called HOV_ Mosquito Gunship Mark II. There's a Mark 1 in there as well, but take the Mark II. That's this one. Now the last tech is I wanted to see, like, if you take this and you scale it up even more, if you build something, like if you want a genuine flying fortress. I've been sort of experimenting with a really heavy version. I call it HOV Flatfish, I believe. There it is. See if we can get that one in. Anywhere? Anywhere? Okay. Let's try over here. And take the HOV Flatfish. Oh, there we go. So this one, the HOV Flatfish here is still a work in progress, but it's significantly heavier, and it even has a like a geocore battery and 4 regular batteries. It has more lift. This is the main cab right now. I have that in there because kind of annoys me when I have one of the other cabs in front here and it keeps shooting. As you can see right now, I don't really have any missiles. I just have some rockets on this one. But considering how many big heavy blocks are on this, it's actually still quite maneuverable, and you can see there's a lot of excess lift, so this can definitely be armed a lot. So what I'm thinking is, I mean, how do you disguise these big arms somehow? And I want to build a tech that is like with all the lift is hidden on the inside. It might have to be a venture tech just because that's the only way you can have that weight reduced enough to make it somewhat reasonable size, but you can still use the weapons, I imagine. Let's see. Can we land this? I'm gonna give myself a target on... I messed that up. There we go. So, let me take a snapshot of that. Maybe a little more zoomed out. Take a snapshot there. Why? I don't want that thing in there. Okay, we'll do that. I know they're overloaded. Okay, we do that, and then we call it Hovercraft. Flatfish. Work in progress. And I'll tweet that. So, all right, I'm back. I had to log into Twitter once again. Anyway, now all these texts are there for you to fly. So if you go in and you restart or you do community tech, when you are doing that, you should be able to find the HOV Flatfish work in progress, the prototype 1 and the prototype 2, and you will also have the Mosquito Gunship Mark II. So enjoy and let me know what you think about them. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed this little video, and I will see you again soon. Bye.